AI agents are getting faster, but speed is not the hard part. The hard part is answering a simple question afterward. What happened? Who allowed it? What changed? And what evidence proves it? Most coding agent systems are optimized for doing the work. But teams also need to inspect the work. The context, the tools, the approvals, the checks, the failures, and the final reason it was accepted. AO is built around a different thesis. Agent work should move through a governed factory, and every important transition should leave a durable, schema-backed record. The practical rule is simple. AO command shows what is happening. AO Foundry coordinates the portfolio. AO Forge decides the next factory step. AO Covenant gates trust. AO2 executes. The control plane observes. The most important design choice is separation of authority. No single component silently plans work, approves side effects, executes changes, stores evidence, and promotes releases. The stack is split across 6 public repositories. Each one has a clear job, and just as importantly, each one has things it must not own. AO command is where an operator starts. It is read only by design, status, next actions, goal run inspection, release rehearsal summaries, and evidence validation. AO Foundry looks across the portfolio. It tracks repositories, goals, branches, CI signals, evidence queues, release trains, and overnight advancement loops. AO Forge owns the factory decision. It turns an objective into a plan, tracks goal run state, gates releases, and produces operator packets. AO Covenant is the trust kernel. It makes contracts explicit, evaluates declared side effects, binds approvals to exact digests, and verifies evidence. AO2 is where governed work actually runs. It owns local workflow state, adapters, exact digest approvals, artifacts, replay, evaluator closure, and evidence export. The control plane receives evidence after the fact. It verifies, stores, indexes, and displays signed AO2 evidence. It does not approve runs or execute providers. A run begins with an objective. Not just do something, but do it inside scope, with acceptance criteria, and with evidence that can be reviewed later. Foundry checks the portfolio view, which repository is ready, which evidence is waiting, and which release or branch is blocked. Forge decides the next allowed factory step. Goal run keeps the objective, phase, scope, acceptance criteria, evidence, and stop conditions durable. Covenant gates side effects before they happen. Missing, malformed, denied, blocked, or stale trust evidence fails closed. AO2 executes locally through bounded adapters. The adapter is not the source of truth. AO2 owns run state, policy, artifacts, and closure. Every important handoff crosses an artifact boundary. Events, logs, patches, approvals, reviewer concerns, tests, and closure are recorded as durable evidence. If evidence is published, the control plane verifies it, stores it, and makes it inspectable. Upload means received and stored, not approved. This is why AO2 runtime authority stays local. The local runtime has the repo, files, sandbox, command outputs, patch digests, and approvals. The server only sees exported evidence afterward. The intended operator experience is not a generic task board. The useful unit is an evidence-backed card that can be opened, verified, and audited. Release readiness is intentionally multi-repo. Covenant verifies trust. Forge owns release gates. AO2 owns runtime readiness. The control plane verifies readback. Foundry rolls up the stack, and command summarizes it. For colleagues, the benefit is practical. Less mystery. Clear ownership. Better post-run review. Safer automation. A shared vocabulary for deciding where new capabilities belong. The central architecture repo is the map. Each implementation repo stays focused on code and local operations, while this repo explains how the stack fits together. If you are new to AO, start with the overview. Then drill into AO2 for execution, Forge for factory decisions, Covenant for trust, or the control plane for evidence readback. The promise of AO is straightforward. AI-assisted software work that is governed while it runs and explainable after it runs. Explore the AO architecture repo, open the diagrams, and trace one governed run from objective to evidence. That is where the system starts to click. Thanks for watching. If this architecture helps your team think about safer agent orchestration, share it with your platform and engineering leaders.